called this current spell the hardest of his 3-year tenure at the helm of the side he used to play for. They'll be hoping that their recent good form against Perth Glory stands them in good stead. They're undefeated in their last 6 against Adam Taggart and co. Well, Carl Veart was bitterly disappointed with a perceived lack of effort from his squad in recent weeks. The 4-0 loss to the Mariners, the last straw. He's made 4 changes in total. Ben Warland returns alongside teenager Panayotis Kikianis in the centre of defence. Stephen Moore, Josh Cavallo and Ethan Allergich all come into the starting 11 at the expense of Ryan Tunnicliffe, Johnny Yull, Ben Halloran and Nestori Irankunda. So the FC Bayern bound Irankunda, who turns 18 today, will have to wait for a little birthday cheer. Not the case for Isaias, who turns 37 today and starts for his 223rd A-League appearance. In front of goal, Hiroshi Ibasuki will be looking to add to his 7th this term. He has 2 goals and 4 wins from 4 against Perth Glory in his Adelaide career. And when he scores, Adelaide do not lose this season. Well, on the other side of the pitch, but a world away in terms of form, Perth are in the ascendancy on the back of 3 without a loss, including a first away win in over a year. So Alan Stagic's side have made just 2 changes and both are enforced. Midfield captain Mustafa Amini misses out with a rib injury and Stefan Kolakovski is suspended, so Jared Carluccio and Josh Rawlins, back on loan from FC Utrecht in the Netherlands, both come into the starting 11. Adam Taggart was on the score sheet last weekend, taking his tally to 9 for this season. He's overtaken Shane Smeltz and Bruno Fornaroli on the all-time Glory scoring charts. Next in his sights, Diego Castro. Important for Perth fans, 25 of his 36 goals have come at home in the West. Perhaps he needs to take that scoring form and bring it to Adelaide if they're to have any chance this evening. Carl Veart is doing it tough, but he says pressure is all part and parcel, and he shares it with that illustrious coaching staff you can see alongside him as well. All former Socceroos in Veart, Milligan, Mori and Galekovic. Up against Alan Stajic, the man who likes a challenge, having turned around the fortunes of the Mariners. He's now looking to do likewise after a slow start with Perth Glory. Our referee this evening is Ben Abraham. This is the 3rd time he takes charge of these 2 sides each this season. His 55th A-League match is being assisted by Kearney Robinson, Henry Day, Daniel Elder is the 4th official. Chris Griffith-Jones and Sarah Ho are in the VAR room. And the countdown is on. And we are underway, the opening match of round 16 of the season. Adelaide United versus Perth Glory, a mouth-watering clash on paper between 2 sides desperate for the points today. Greyskill places in the top 6 are at a premium.
Well, good evening, Robbie, and thank you. And if this match is anything to go by and history repeats, we're going to have a lot of goals on our hands, and no doubt a physical one too, but a little knock to the back of the head there from Adam Taggart, the last person that Perth want to see go down. He's not too happy about it either.
He's not often happy about stuff on the football pitch, Adam Taggart. And there, he's feeling a little hard done by. It was a blow to the head when he was on the ground from Ben Warland. And he knows how he can try and make up for that. He still wants to have a word to Ben Abraham about that challenge. Referee says play on. In it comes, the left foot ball. Good header away. Driven back in by Katrumbas. Cleared again for the 2nd time by Kikianis. The teenager making it back-to-back starts. And how about the technique on that shot? Driven in from Jared Carluccio.
That's a lively start for Perth. Back to your original question around the top 6 premium positions. Well, obviously Carl Veart will be desperate not to go 3 in a row, 3 losses in a row, that is. But Perth, well, they're in a really good run of momentum at the moment.
It's Adelaide. They had a big crowd here last week when they pulled out their worst performance of the season against the Mariners. There's still a good crowd in attendance. You can see the little purple patch up there at the top right of your screens, the travelling supporters. Or perhaps the local Glory fans turning out to cheer on their side. The switch towards Daniel Benny, still looking for his first A-League goal. Bruce Kamau back in Adelaide, up against a former club. Now helping it on its way to Riley Warland. Kikianis. You can hear the Red fans, they were notably quiet a week ago. They're there to make some noise already. Katrumbas looking for Benny. Moved by Kikianis, but straight out of play. So once again it will be Perth onto the front foot. Down this left-hand side with Riley Warland and Bruce Kamau. On the other flank, it'll be interesting to see how they line up. There's Josh Rawlins back after that spell, just over 18 months in Europe, where he started out by playing a lot with Utrecht's under-21 side. Not so much this season, as he'll be looking to force his way back in to the Olyroos squad ahead of their qualifying tournament. The Paris Olympics, a massive occasion and a big ambition for the Olyroos to be part of it. Ryan Kitto. Ball in behind Rawlins. It's a good run from Alagic. Oh, who's forced Latchman into the mistake and earned the first corner of the contest for the home side.
That's the exact intensity that Carl Viet will be wanting from his players. A good positive forward run from Ethan Alagic in just his second start of the season, and Latchman has tried to use his body there, but that's clever from Alagic. Just gets a handy little touch. Perth have some early defending to do.
Zach Clough to take charge of this ball in. It comes plenty of pace on it as well. It's a good punch from Ollie Sale. Isaias leaves it for Alagic. This ball towards Ibasuki at the back post, cleared by Shushnya. Straight back in, Stefan Morg's header. Came off the bench, he's only just returned to the Reds after playing in the Japanese second division the last 2 seasons. Number 6. Who's playing a little higher up the pitch. We weren't sure where he'd be. It's Alagic who's in that midfield 3, if you like, of Clough and Isaias. Looks like Stefan Morg's playing in that number 10 role that was Ben Halloran's last week. Halloran, one of the big names to make way. There was plenty of talk it could have been Ryan Kitto as well, who was on the sidelines tonight. Carl Viet saying his form hasn't been what it was in recent seasons. Mind you, there's been a fair bit of finger pointing and soul searching in Adelaide the last couple of weeks. Kikianis again with Kitto. Warland. Now they find a little space. Clough able to turn, but he can't pick out Bovalina. He's playing a lot higher up this right-hand side than Kitto is at the back. Isaias. 37 today, but still a sprightly young midfielder in the middle of the park with a big influence on this Adelaide side. Here he is, the Spaniard. Joe Marston medalist. multiple Adelaide Player of the Year. Their second most appearances in history behind legendary goalkeeper Eugene Galekovic. Kikianis with Clough, Isaias, that's nicely worked, the little triangle for Mork into the area. The cutback might yet fall for Bobolina, across the face of goal, the follow-up. They can't finish, it's Josh Cavallo, whose shot was blocked.
Really interesting, the build-up from Adelaide. Good, patient play, just trying to wait for those moments to pick the pass. They didn't force it. On a few occasions, you can see players, just this red players that is, just imploring each other just to slow down, pick the moment, not rush it.
That time, Kikianis probably just forcing the issue a little bit, but Warland's lost out to Bobolina. The follow-up was a good challenge, but the referee says there was no advantage, brings it back for the initial foul. This is a dangerous set piece.
This is a look for an earlier chance, and Perth just failing to clear effectively. Dangerous areas too. This came from really patient Adelaide build-up, and now a really good opportunity just outside the 18-yard box. Good numbers in. Ibasuki, no doubt the target.
Here's the aerial threat. They've scored 6 headers this season, second only to Western Sydney Wanderers. Ibasuki is the natural target as Clough whips it in. And it's towards Ben Warland at the back post, who is another who's good in the air, and so is Bobolina, who was there as well.
Lovely delivery too from Zach Clough. You know, he's taken a lot of their corners, a lot of their set pieces this season, and that's got beautiful shape on it. Ben Warland too, of course, a towering target.
Kitto. Good cross towards Ibasuki! And that aerial threat, there it is. And for just the 6th time this season, Adelaide have scored first. It hasn't been their forte. 9 minutes on the clock. And it's something we haven't seen so much from them this season. A good early cross. And Ibasuki in the middle.
Well, it's delightful play from Adelaide United on the Harvey Norman replay. From the throw-in, lovely delivery into the box, and Ibasuki times his run to perfection. He's able to nip in front of his opponent. Just a glancing header. A really well-taken play from the Reds, and, well, you've got to say that's come from really good, patient build-up as well. That's a brilliant start from Adelaide.
Well, it's a great ball in, but it's a fantastic run. He is so good in the air. Hero Ibasuki. Goal number 8 of the season for him, and something of a good luck charm. They haven't lost this season when he's been on the scoreboard. They'll be hoping that is most definitely the case again. He's also played Perth 4 times and won all 4 of them, scoring twice and providing an assist in those previous 4 appearances. Mind you, we suspected there'd be goals, and that has started early. A quick look at the history books will show that the last time these two met in Perth, it finished 4-4 with 3 goals after the 90-minute mark. One of the most remarkable A-League matches of recent seasons. And now it's Perth straight back on the front foot with Rawlins. His cross picked off by Kitto. Now Josh Cavallo up the left-hand side. Win probabilities just turned in Adelaide's favour, but Perth are on the front foot here. Taggart gets it wide with Riley Warland. Back with Shushnya. Kamau with Katrumbas. A new position for Johnny Katrumbas today as well. How both sides were lining up with the changes. Katrumbas looks like he's the player filling Mustafa Amini's role in the middle of the park.
I think that's a huge out for Perth today. Amini, just the work rate he gets through in the middle of the park. A real ball winner, so it was always going to be a question mark. And his name wasn't on the team sheet of how Perth were going to plug that hole and recreate some of the possession that he wins back.
Trumbus has been in outstanding form up and down that right flank in recent weeks, but Josh Rawlins, certainly a very talented young footballer at right back. Here he is. Helps it on its way to Kamau. Gets it back, but just outnumbered. Scraps for it well. Kitto. Up the line again, though. Adelaide onto the front foot. Ibasuki's in the middle again. Oh, it's only not confidently cleared by Latchman. Now there's one of those runs by Katrumbas with Taggart. Chips the ball into the path of Daniel Benny, who gets there first. It might still be there. Oh, off the post. Well, he just needed a little presence of mind, Daniel Benny, to turn that into an empty net. It just wouldn't sit for him.
Great counter-attacking play from Perth. Ball over the top was excellent, and Daniel Benny thought he steered that one around the post. Denied only by the woodwork on that occasion, but just how quickly Perth are able to turn things around. We've seen so many times this season spring a play like that. Great ball over the top from Taggart too.
Bit of a mix-up at the back. That's the last thing Carl Veert wants to see. The number of changes he's had at the back. There's still no Nick Ansell, who's nursing a sore knee at the moment as it's driven in back post towards Bovalina. Cleared again. It's his second good ball in as many minutes from Josh Cavallo on that left flank. Cavallo again with the little 1-2. Rawlins sees it out of play. You may not recognise him without that fantastic mullet he used to have in his first stint at Perth. Came through the ranks, Josh Rawlins. Oh, again, Latchman. It's the second or third time he hasn't been convincing with his clearances. He gave away that early corner as well. Now here's Kitto. Bovalina making the run down the right flank. He's been found. Here's Clough with Moore. Now Alagic. Sayas. It's well played again. Number of 1-2s just to find the space, patiently waiting, as you said, Grace, and then attacking at the moment once the little opening arrives. Doesn't do so on this occasion, and now Taggart was again trying to release Benny. Here's Kitto. Looks like he's up for a big one this evening. Ryan Kitto is defended by Rawlins. It's another corner for the home side.
Rawlins has already had a busy evening to begin. Lots of action down that attacking left-hand side for Adelaide. Rawlins been up to task on a few occasions, but it is Adelaide with a lot of possession, a lot of momentum going forward, and they've spent most of this opening 15 minutes camped in their attacking half.
Tough with the set piece again. Ibasuki trying to find a little bit of space in the middle. It's Wallen doing the marking again. Sale. Oh, penalty! Penalty, says the referee. Ben Abraham. Ibasuki found himself on the turf. Now it looked like it was Riley Wallen who was doing the marking. Carluccio and Shushnya are leading the protests.
This will be fascinating to look back on the contact from Ibasuki, the point in question.
And Shushnya, who's got arms all over him.
Undeniably, and from that angle you can see Shushnya, the arm across the chest and around the front of Ibasuki.
Penalty confirmed. And it's Zach Clough to step up here. The Englishman It's a 100% record this season. 3 from 3. This to give Adelaide a 2-0 lead. And he does so. Consummate penalty. No chance for Ollie Sale. And Adelaide are happy to be back at Cooper's on a Friday night. 2-0, 17 minutes in.
Well, Carl Viet has asked for a response from his players, and he has got exactly that. 4 changes to this red side coming in after 2 difficult losses. Contact in the box. Sushna, the arm around the chest of Isuzu, who goes to ground, and Zach Clough on the Harvey Norman replay makes no mistake. He's drilled that strike into the back of the net. Ollie Sale with no chance on that occasion. A well-struck penalty. Adelaide are flying.
In off the post from Zach Clough, goal number 6 this season, 4 of them from the spot. What a start for the home side. Well, now Perth's travel sickness that they thought they had overcome. Alan Stajic had found the right medicine, but they clearly haven't been taking their pills this time. Katrumbas. Mork gets it to Ivasuki. He was looking further forward, but Mork has been fouled. There is a different energy about Adelaide United so far this evening.
There is, and when we reflect back on the goals they conceded last week against Central Coast, it was sort of a lacklustre effort in the middle of the park. We're not seeing that tonight at all. Great energy, good discipline, good patience on the ball. It's been a perfect start, and the exact response that Carl Viet would have implored from his players. And to the players who have come in, been given the opportunity. Well, as you know, as a footballer, taking those with 2 hands and proving to the manager that you deserve to be on the field, and this will give Carl Viet a very good headache to have.
Well, the return of Stefan Mork is obviously an important one. Alagic, who's been in and out of the side so far this season. Bovalina charging forward, and Shushnya with an aggressive clearance of the football there. Not happy after that penalty award against him. Clough again with Mork. Bovalina looking to get it back to Stefan Mork. Alagic again cleared by Warland. That Clough putting an end to a run of 6 matches without a goal for him as well this season. He's their 2nd top scorer behind Ivasuki.
Changes to the dynamic of player that Carl Viet has to bring on, and although we're far away from looking at substitutes yet, when you've got the likes of Irankunda, of Halloran, who scored a few this year as well, all of a sudden the options that can come off the bench later in the game may be much more impactful than what we'd seen in weeks gone by.
They haven't found themselves in this position. Oh, as Shushnya has caught Stefan Mork. Isaias is absolutely furious. And it's a yellow card for Shushnya. Caught Stefan Mork right on the jaw. Let's have a look. He's led with that left elbow. Oof. Caught him right on the jaw as well. Referee looks like he had a word in his ear. Stefan Mork has come back for seconds and saying it was a swinging elbow from Shushnya. Looks like yellow card is going to be the full extent of the sanction for Shushnya, who's not had most auspicious start to this one, giving away the penalty, picking up an early yellow now. Hawk. Clough again, it's a good ball. There's a hand there. Bovalina, who's, I think, claiming just got a little nudge in the back, which is why he's thrust the arm into the air.
Well, I really like that decision from Zach Clough to hit that first time back into the box. Again, the shape on the delivery, the curve away from Ollie Sail makes it a really difficult one to come and claim or get a touch on. Clough continues to threaten with passes and crosses like that into the box.
Ollie Sail with the goal kick midway through the first half. It's been a return to the bad old days so far. One thing Perth do have in their locker, though, is a comeback. We've seen that numerous times this season. They are never out. They've only failed to score in one match so far this season. And for a side sitting second from bottom, they've only been outscored by 3 other sides. They only know one way. It's all out attack as Benny finds Warland. He drives the cross in. Header away by the other Warland. And now Stephen Moore. Dispossessed by Rawlins, but he immediately tries to win it back. The ball being turned over quickly between both sides momentarily as they both look to force the issue. Delianov's clearance isn't the best. Shushnia back with Ollie Sail. Left in by Rawlins, free kick from Kitto through the back of Jared Carluccio, who's now down holding his head. Nobody too worried as his own teammates play on quickly. Referee sees no problem with that. Carluccio's back to his feet as well. Back into the action. Riley Warland, it's a poor cross, picked off by Ethan Alagich. Iwasuki with Morg. His third spell with Adelaide. A-League match number 65, which is one more than he played for Melbourne City. So we can see where his allegiances lie now.
Obviously a good experienced player, Stephen Morg, to come back to Adelaide, provide a bit of leadership on the park, and as you mentioned, playing a little further up the field than perhaps we've seen in previous occasions, but he's got great energy, just looks to get involved, buzzes around, wins back possession. He's keeping himself busy.
As Kamau's pass is all the way through to Delianov. There is Stephen Morg, who was waiting as long as possible to see if a return to Asia was on the cards. He was back during the off-season from Japan, where his contract was not renewed. He had the birth of his son a couple of weeks ago. Here he is on the ball, when put on the spot by the Reds, saying, we have to make a decision. He signed on the dotted line. Now he's set up Kitto, who hits it. It's well struck and well saved by Ollie Sail.
Nice neat hands there from Ollie Sail, and again good build-up from Adelaide. Kitto, we know when he gets a strike away, can hit them really cleanly, but that's good goalkeeping. So easy to carry that to oncoming legs. Ollie Sail's done well there.
And Clough has got front position there. Bruce Kamau has stayed down, slowly back to his feet. Here's Isaias. Alagich, a little bit of space on this left-hand side. Kitto. He's got Cavallo outside him. Josh Cavallo looks up and crosses to the back post. Bovalina. Well, that was a good leap. Free kick. Let's go down on the sidelines to Max Burford, who's joining us this evening. How is it down there, Max?
Evening, Robbie. Evening, Grace. It is beautiful. A beautiful night for football down here. I think that Adelaide United will be slightly disappointed with the crowd, but I mean, They have only won 2 games in their last 10 and probably getting the crowd that they mayhaps deserve. But as is always the way, Bruce, when you don't show up, your team goes 2-0 up. That's what happens in football. What have you made of the ball movement so far? Grace commented Adelaide, a very patient build-up.
Yeah, patient build-up. It'd be good to see a bit more tempo in the passing. You can still be patient, but need to lift that tempo a bit. I think that first goal really brought some confidence back into the team. The second one settled them a bit further, and you're starting to see that little bit of tempo now, even though Perth Glory are starting to come a bit more back into the game.
Just a little knock to the face here for Giuseppe Bobolina. I think he looks to be okay. Bruce, I wanted to ask one more question on the ball movement. As someone who's never played an A-League game, it's very easy for me to sit here and watch the Central Coast game last week and go, geez, they cut up Adelaide so quickly. Surely moving the ball fast is the way to go when Adelaide's passing it between the centre-backs the way that they do.
Look, that's really important, but at the same time, you see how vulnerable Adelaide United's defence is with Taggart playing that ball a little bit earlier. Delianov unsure whether to come or whether to stay, bounced off the post, lucky for the goalkeeper. But look, they've got to tighten up at the back. There's no secret about that.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Bruce and Max on the sidelines. Well, invariably, it's the opposing side against Perth Glory that does have the majority of the possession. Perth like to defend deep. They generally keep sides outside their perimeter as long as possible. They are the side that complete the least passes in the league this season by some distance as well, and have the lowest completion percentage of any team as well. So they're not a passing side, they're a counter-attacking side, which means that their opponents will have the ball. They're almost forced to be patient.
Yeah, and in one sense as well, that plays into Perth's hands, and sitting back and just inviting the pressure and absorbing that, and then enabling space in behind for the likes of Adam Taggart as well. We know Kolakovsky's not out there tonight, and I think that's also a really big loss for Perth. The combination, the partnership between those two up front has been excellent across the season for Perth. So no doubt missing Kolakovsky a little bit, but Benny, very talented young player.
Here's Taggart onto the front foot, looking for Carluccio. It's just seen out, well defended by Alagic. He gets the plaudits from his teammates as well. You can see they're really looking for that team spirit here. They're getting behind each other, they're getting around each other.
Great to see, you know, Ethan Alagic get a few more minutes. He's a really talented young player. Hasn't had as many minutes as I'm sure he would have liked across the season, but a start tonight, excellent opportunity, and he has started brightly.
Good first time ball again from Stefan Mork, but he's closed down by Giordano Colli. Shushnia. Colli again, and look at the running of Stefan Mork. Now one for Benny against Kikianis. He's done well, Daniel Benny. Burst onto the scene really at the start of this season with the travelling West Ham and Tottenham Hotspur matches out in the West, where he first showcased to the wider public what he can do. He's won a corner here. First of the evening for the away side. Colli to take. It's got Riley Wallen there. In it comes from Colli. Good ball as well. Back post, and they're back in it. Adam Taggart strikes again. Double figures for him this season. We spoke about him in the pre-game. He is a scoring machine, and he has brought that form away from home. The Perth fans have something to celebrate. Perth have something to hold on to.
Well, it's a tidy finish on the Harvey Norman replay. And for the 10th time this season, Adam Taggart makes something look very easy. Little glancing header changes the flight of the ball just slightly, but Adam Taggart, he knows his run is timed to perfection. He loses his mark at the back post. Passes that home as easy as you like. The in-form striker for Perth, well, has been their lifeline time and time again. We said there'd be goals, Robbie, and at Cooper Stadium on a Friday night, I think we've got a game on our hands.
It could never have been any other way. Especially with two sides who have been conceding goals like this as well. And Adelaide, it's a bit of a return to scoring form for them. They've failed to score in 5 of their last 8. Failed to score in their last 2 before tonight, but they've got their scoring boots on. And Perth, well, they can't take theirs off. And what a race we have for the Golden Boot as well at the moment, with some really fantastic individual striking performances this season. Ollie Sale. Stephen Mork looks to put a bit of pressure on Sale towards Kamau. The Reds have it back again.
Well, there's a look at the very thing you just mentioned, Robbie. Top goal scorers, and Taggart is now equal alongside Angel Torres and Valère Germain on 10 goals for the season, and what a lineup that is.
Goal number 37 for him, as he now has Diego Castro and Andy Keogh in his sights in the all-time Perth Glory scoring charts. Benny with Carluccio. Here goes Taggart again. He looks up early. Square ball is a good one for Carluccio. Oh, he just got caught in two minds, didn't he? Didn't quite know what to do with it.
Well, after what was a really good move from Perth Glory, 1-2 touch football, well, that pulled apart Adelaide with ease. It was the final pass from Carluccio, just not sure whether to pass or to cross or to get a shot away. But that was right up the middle. And Perth did that with ease. They'll be looking at that as an example of how they can exploit this red side who have started the first half with a fair bit of dominance. But there's a glimpse.
Now Bovalina, as Adelaide look to fight back. Well, it was such a remarkable match of football last season between these two sides, and there are only 2 players in the starting lineup for each side today that were starting that match, or that were there in that 4-4 last season. Isaias. Here's Kitto. His cross, back post, Ibasuki again! Great save from Sale. Now Moore. Clough's ball overhit to the back post. Josh Cavallo will keep it in. Now Kitto, he's done well, the cross in again, it might yet fall for Ibasuki. Oh, he tried to bring it down on the chest. And it's out of play, but it was another good chance for Adelaide. But when you're these two sides, Grace, your strengths are in attack. Your strengths are scoring goals, so let's hope for us they continue to play to those strengths.
That delivery and that attempt from Ibasuki will suggest exactly that will continue to happen as the game wears on, but he's such a great target, such an aerial threat. We spoke so much last year about the delivery, rather, of Craig Goodwin, but tonight, Cavallo, Kitto, some of those crosses have had great shape. Clough as well, and Ibasuki the target.
Well, they were the most prolific and most accurate crosses in the A-League last season, but that's been worryingly absent in recent weeks. They've got it back today. Taggart, that's a nice turn, drives the ball in. Only Isaias is there. Kikianis with the clearance, only as far as Rawlins. Shushnya. Kamau was looking for the first time touch. Again, that's poor from Warland. Straight into Kamau. Isaias has to scurry back. Never take your eyes off the ball when Adam Taggart's around. Warland. Oh, that's a great cross towards Taggart. And now the follow-up again. Katrumbas bundled over on the edge of the area, nothing given.
Well, that was much better from Warland as well. Looking to make amends for a couple of wayward touches, but the first time ball in, Good sweeping cross. Trumbas too, just looking to bundle his way through, make a nuisance of himself.
Calvi inside. Have once again failed to keep a clean sheet. Clean sheets came in the first 2 games of the season. Cavallo against Rawlins, gets the cross in, Ibasuki to the near post. Very closely watched again by Shushnya. Benny's header, Kitto has it back. Kikianis. 38th minute of this one. It's flown by here. It's been a very entertaining. Easy on the eye match as Mork releases Clough. Adelaide looking to restore their 2-goal cushion. Is that a cheeky effort at the near post from Clough or a mishit cross?
I think Clough is normally pretty good at picking a pass and trying to find a player in the box. He does glance up, and I think it's a slightly mishit cross. You can see where the eyes are looking, trying to pick out a red shirt. Doesn't come off his boot as neatly as he may have liked.
Well, they'll have another opportunity here. The set piece. And it comes short with Cavallo on his left foot. Oh, that cross is overhit. It wasn't a bad idea. Could have perhaps taken a touch and let fly. Josh Cavallo instead of that first-time ball. Shushnya. It's a pinpoint goal kick, picking out Rawlins. His switch towards Taggart. Putting his body about, now taking on Bovalina. He's got front position, looking for the free kick, doesn't get it. Good harrying from Adam Taggart. I think he's just letting the referee know that Bovalina was playing for a free kick there that didn't come. Say yes, does well. Brakes on any potential transition there. Adelaide with Bovalina again. That's a good pass from Warland. Cavallo up the line, nicely done. Alagich gets the cross in as well. Cavallo back in, first time ball, Clough. Well, he probably wasn't the player you wanted in the air on the edge of the 6-yard box. He's normally the provider, not the finisher in that situation, but it was a great first time ball from Josh Cavallo.
Well, not the first time this afternoon as well. Josh Cavallo has put a dangerous ball into the box, and
was Delianov with a very cool piece of skill, taking it around Benny. And another little example that suggests the goals are going to keep flowing here this evening.
I can hear what the Adelaide fans think about that challenge. Was indeed a step on the toe, and those ones hurt.
Sounded like a 6-year-old getting on the back of Josh Rawlins there. They do say it's one of the tougher places to travel.
It's always a beautiful night at Cooper Stadium. Perfect conditions for football as well. Low 20 degrees. Always a healthy crowd spilling in there as well.
Perhaps they got word that their team was 2-0 up and could still get down. Delianov looks long. We're into the final minutes before half-time. Katrumbas with Benny. They're afforded a little bit of space there. Carluccio appealing for the handball. It's Isaias who showed great endeavour to chase that one down.
Did look more comfortable from Perth, just finding space, but it's moments like that that Carl Viet will no doubt want to iron out. Really familiar, similar to that of last week against Central Coast. Just not taking responsibility for their roles in the middle of the park, and that just had airs of that.
Yeah, it's not easy. You can't just flick a switch, can you? And turn on the aggression. Here's Carluccio. If you've got into bad habits, Katrumbas turns away from Mork. Gio Colley's ball cleared by Warland. Another authoritative clearance from the Adelaide number 3. Rawlins. Saw his former teammate Keegan Jelicic return this window as well. In Belgian football, he's gone back to Brisbane. A few of the youngsters returning, looking for some game time. Kitto going down under the pressure of Adam Taggart, who keeps it alive with Daniel Benny again. Kamau's touch for Katrumbas. Here's Shushnyar. Riley Warland just keeps it in play. He's put Gio Colley under a little bit of pressure. They've got away with it though. Kamau. Kamau fouling Bovalina.
It's a frustrating one for Alan Stajic too. Perth had numbers forward, and if they were able to find a way out the other side of the field, had numbers, had white shirts available, just couldn't find the switch. And on a few occasions Bruce Kamau's touch has just slightly let him down this evening.
Well, he'll be satisfied with the spirit his side have shown to come back from 2 goals down. This one is an even contest again. If you've been following Perth in recent weeks, you'll know that their spirit, their effort, has not been questioned in their performances. They have been full of fight and courage. Alagic with Kitto. Nice return ball. Space here for the Reds. Moore. We haven't seen so much of him in the last few minutes. Clough. His cross near post. Ibusuki. Oh! Well, we know his quality in the air, but that was some real quality with his feet as well.
Oh, that was silky. Really lovely little flick through. Nice early ball again from Zach Clough. Again, it's that near post run from Ibusuki. It would have been a tricky one to steer goalward, so he's tried a little bit of innovation there, and that is a fantastic save from Ollie Sale. Fingertips just to steer it around the post. Great goalkeeping.
Clough's ball near post. Cleared by Colley. Now Taggart. Oh, he was looking for Benny, couldn't find him. Moore with Clough again for Bovalina. They've got numbers coming forward here. Stephen Moore. It falls for Kitto. His cross just under hit towards Ibusuki. Taggart wrestling. Benny gets there. No foul, says the referee. Two minutes of stoppage time. The first has expired. As Adelaide put the brakes on again. Trying to just wait till Perth come and put some pressure on them. You can see Perth's 4-4-2 there quite clearly. With Benny, that more advanced role for him. Warland. Colley hooks it away with Kamau. Clough does well. Now Isaias with Bovalina. say yes. Anagic. No surprises that it's Wallen and Kikianis who have seen most of the football in this match, where Carl Beert's side started with renewed energy in this first half. There were 2 goals to the good, courtesy of Ibasuki and Zach Clough from the penalty spot. But the inevitable Adam Taggart pulled the goal back just after the half hour for Perth to make a game of it. And this one is evenly poised at the break. Adelaide United 2, Perth Glory 1.
Now, has the magic returned to Cooper Stadium? So far it has. I don't know how confident Carl Beert would be going into this break, but his team are ahead as Adelaide lead Perth Glory 2-1. We're going to have the half-time show on the other side of the break. Hello and welcome back. This is the moment that Daniel Benny shoulda, coulda, woulda levelled up the scores, but he did not, and Adelaide went on to take a 2-goal lead. They did pull one back, and that's how the score sits now, 2-1. And now we are back for the Hungry Jacks half-time show, where we break down this first half in Cooper Stadium, where Adelaide lead Perth Glory 2-1. And Alex Brosk and Grace Gill, what have you made of that first half? Been pretty open game I mean, Adelaide look confident, but also nervy at the same time. I feel like I'm living in an upside-down world. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, look, for the first 30 minutes or so, up until Perth pulled a goal back, it looked like Adelaide were in complete control. They were moving the ball well, pressing well, everything that Carl Viet would have hoped for in terms of the first, how they started the game. A couple of early goals as well, really settled the nerves. But then, like you said, that when Perth get the goal back, it just had that feel to it, and not so much for the back of that first half, but it feels as though in the second half, if Adelaide don't go on and get a third, maybe a fourth, Perth is still there and right in with it right to the end.
There's a couple of glimpses as well of Adelaide from last week where they were just a little slow to react and Perth were able to stream through effortlessly, and I'm sure that's going to be part of the chat at halftime with Carl Viet, that if they want to keep going for this full 90 minutes, they're just going to have to squash those moments.
Yeah, most definitely. Let's take a look at those moments with the Harvey Norman highlights. Maybe you can talk us through them, guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, like we said, Adelaide started incredibly well. They were in Perth's face from the very beginning. And this ball here is what we haven't seen much of from Adelaide. A good early ball, not trying to play their way into it and get all the way into the box. A good early ball. You got someone with this guy's height and his expertise in the air. You need to get him good service. And we've seen it a couple of times today where, that early service, with him on the end of it, he makes very, very good runs, very good finisher, and he got him off to a perfect start.
Yeah, he did. And it was patient as well from Adelaide. They weren't sort of trying to push the point and rush the point, and obviously this moment as well, conceding the penalty in that kind of fashion is the last thing that Alan Stadjuk would have wanted for his side. But I think at this point the scoreline was deserved, whether or not how it came about. Adelaide were really dominant in that first 45 minutes, and it was really only late in the piece, late in that first half, that Perth had a bit more about them. Goal aside, they came back into the match and looked like they were picking up a bit more momentum as well.
And this goal here, I mean, Grace, you highlighted, how Taggart makes, the difficult look so easy. This is a very, very hard finish. It looks simple because of where he is, but he's made a run into the back post. He probably would have lost sight of the ball for a split second, running in behind Ben Warland as well. And it's a great finish to come back across. And Warland will be disappointed in losing him. He's the one guy you do not want to lose sight of on a set piece. And again, from this moment on, even though I don't think Perth were doing enough, when they'd win the ball, they're a counter-attacking side, but they weren't showing enough in that first half, like they were being dangerous outside of that set piece there. So, look, I think Perth with a lot to do in the second half, but there is that feel that, especially when someone like David Williams comes on, he can really hurt Adelaide with the way they're defending.
Yeah, we know he likes to score goals, and we know Robbie Thompson loves a stat. These are the first half match stats. Possession, Adelaide dominating, as we said there before. Shots on goal, though, they're getting closer. 9 against 6. Shots on target, 6-3. But the only stat that matters is that one at the very top that reads Adelaide United 2, Perth Glory 0. Now, the boyos might have a bit of a smile on their face, but I don't know if it's a confident smile. Max and Bruce, have you enjoyed that first half?
I mean, from a spectator's point of view, very enjoyable. Bruce has got the itch again, I think. We've got big strikers scoring goals, and then behind us here we've got some walking football. I think he might be thinking about a comeback. But Bruce, the first half out there, what do you think?
Look, I think Adelaide United could have played maybe with a higher tempo in passing. You see the possession at 68%. They're overwhelmingly dominant with the ball. They have been patient. It's really important they keep that tempo up. But their pressing in the first 30 minutes especially was excellent. Stephen Mork was full of running.
Doesn't stop, does he? Energizer Bunny.
And Perth found it really hard to get out. So that was really good for Adelaide United. But again, that defence is leaky, and it's the set pieces that have caught them off guard tonight.
Right, I'm hearing that Bruce is still a little bit worried with this 2-1 lead. Let's have a look at the Paramount Plus player index. Hiroshi Ibusuki and Adam Taggart, the two strikers, the two highest rated players on the ground. I mean, that's probably right in your wheelhouse. Bruce, why do you think they're rated so highly with what they've put out there today?
Well, they're the difference makers, and you look at Ibusuki, he wins the penalty. I mean, of course, the physicality, his height, his presence, his prowess in the air, as well as on the floor. This is a very difficult finish to try and
execute.
Yeah. Exactly. So, look, and he's got his goal as well. He's the real danger man in that Adelaide United team, and it's really important, hopefully, from my perspective, he gets another one in the second half.
Don't give it away, Bruce. I think we've all forgotten where you come from. Yeah, that's I think Bruce is hoping for more goals from Hiroshi Masuki. I think I'd just like to see some more goals from everyone. Very exciting first half down here at High Marsh.
Yeah, don't we all? And Bruce, don't forget, every time Stajic is on the screen, you're on the screen, mate, so keep that smile going. And like I said, there's still plenty more football to be played here. Stefan Mork is someone who's caught my eye in the first half. I think he's been great. He's shown great energy. He's pushing forward. His name doesn't show up in the stats there, and he's not the main man, but pretty impressive performance for the first half.
Yeah, he's one of those players who busies himself. He runs off the line of his defender really, really well. He looks to get on the ball. And even when he's not on the ball, he's been a nuisance off it. He's pulling the space out, creating space in between the lines. And he's just a really energetic player who is constantly buzzing around.
Yeah, he's popped up a couple of times in the box as well where, you know, if the Perth Glory goalkeeper there spills it, he's there. So it's his energy, it's his work rate. The players feed off that. And he's been a real key to that first half.
Great stuff. Now, we've said all we wanted to say. We want to see some more football, and we're going to. The second half is coming up next. That is the end of the Hungry Jacks halftime show. But remember, as I said, second half comes up the other side of the break. There's plenty more football coming up. Tomorrow, Central Coast Mariners take on Sydney FC. We know Alex is going to be there. That one is on 10 Bold. And then on Sunday, Western Sydney Wanderers take on the Newcastle Jets, also on Bold. Another huge game on Sunday morning, all the way from Qatar. I mean, we're still disappointed with the Socceroos and their exit, but the Asian Cup final kicks off very early on Sunday morning, where Jordan take on Qatar in that final. It really is going to be a fantastic game, as is the whole weekend. The second half here comes up on the other side of the break.
Musa Altamari again, weaving his way through. It's a wonderful run. It's a beautiful goal.
But Al-Hainos to hit one. And what a goal that is. 1-0 to Qatar. And surely we've just seen goal of the tournament.
Welcome back to Cooper's Stadium. Hiroshi Ibusuki on the score sheet this evening with goal number 8 of the season for him. He opened the scoring. Zach Clough added a second for the home side from the penalty spot before Adam Taggart continued his fantastic goal-scoring form. He's up to 10 for the season as Perth have launched another comeback. They've done it 3 times before from trailing by 2 goals to 0 in the A-League and got wins. The first back in 2010 when a certain Jacob Burns got a double against Adelaide, having trailed 2-0. And a young Daniel McBreen got the third that day. Are you listening, Macca? So you owe me one. And we're underway in the second half. Stephen Moore getting the Reds going again as they look to break that run of 3 consecutive defeats. They're leading 2-1 at the break. No changes to either side. Grace, we know that Perth will keep going. Is the 1-goal cushion enough for an Adelaide side that have been conceding?
Well, one thing that is guaranteed is that Perth will keep pushing all the way through, and not just to the 90th minute, but beyond as well. They've proved that multiple times this season. They've got some late winners in them, and you've got David Williams on the bench as well, and the form he's in at the moment too. Well, that's a prospect.
2 goals and 2 assists in his last 4 matches for Willow on the bench, and he's made quite the habit of providing the late drama as well. Adelaide will be wanting perhaps another goal or 2 up their sleeves as they head into the final 15 minutes. No free kick given. Alagic was looking for one. Carluccio back with Rawlins, now Latchman. It's a good challenge by Alagic, kept alive by Cavallo, and now the free kick does go Perth's way.
Perth just needing a bit of an outlet in the midfield, getting pinned to this side of the field and not having that central midfielder showing for just a simple, easy sort of 5-6 yard pass just to alleviate that pressure, ultimately having to draw the foul.
Cleared by Bovalina. With Shushnyar. Finally playing A-League football for his hometown, Alexander Shushnyar, after a much-travelled career. Here's Rawlins. Shushnyar actually made his professional debut in Latvia. So that's a great switch of play from Katrumbas. He looks up and crosses back post towards Benny. Got his head on it. Delianov didn't. Taggart wanted Carluccio to come, and it's Kitto that gets it clear.
It's not a bad option there from Perth. The switch ball from Katrumbas just really opened the field up nicely. An early cross in too from Riley Wallen. Daniel Benny did well against the oncoming Delianov.
And now it's Kamau looking to put the pressure on Bovalina, who heads for the hills. Ball into touch, but the throw's taken quickly with Gio Colli. Shushnyar. The cross in. Oh, helped on brilliantly by Wallen. Taggart's there. And well, it's one of the easiest attempts he's probably had in recent weeks, and he hit it tamely towards Delianov.
That fell so kindly to Adam Taggart. Almost didn't expect it. Might have been offside had he found the back of the net, but he had time to think about it. Almost looked too simple and as sure as anything, but it was rising from the ground. The bounce, tricky to get your body and your boot over the top of that one.
More good work in the air from Daniel Benny. Colli has found a bit of space with Latchman. Carluccio around the corner for Rawlins. It's another good opportunity for the away side. Here's Walland again with Colli. Katrumbas, who started out his professional career with Adelaide before heading to the Newcastle Jets. That one asking a bit too much of Josh Rawlins down the right flank.
Otherwise, what was a really good move from Perth. That first time ball around the corner, really tricky rather to defend against. On that occasion, Rawlins not quite having the legs to get there. The weight of the pass just asking a little too much. I have to say, Perth have started this second stanza a little more brightly than the first, with some more possession than what we saw in the first half.
Ollie Sale looks long, finds the head of Kitto. Now Collie over the top. Good defensive header again from Warland. Carluccio dragged down. Free kick comes in the end the way of the Perth midfielder. The goal they conceded, Adelaide, from a set piece. That's the 10th they've conceded from set pieces this season, the most of any team. So that's something else that's come back to haunt them, as Benny again gets his head on that. Katrumbas. Shushnia. He turns away from Isaias. Nicely done. Now the cross from Warland. Carluccio arriving, but again didn't look particularly comfortable in the air. Perth managing to extend the loan contract of Jared Carluccio from the Western Sydney Wanderers through until the end of the season. Wasn't the case with Ollie Bozanic. Salim Khalifi was instructed to move on loan to Melbourne Victory. Shushnia all the way back to Ollie Sale. Shushnia again. Oh, he's been caught in possession there by Cavallo. Cavallo bending it on, deflected. So close to goal number 3 for Adelaide, and a first of the season for Josh Cavallo, making his first start of this campaign.
Well, it took a wicked deflection, didn't it? Completely wrong-footed Ollie Sale, and understandably so. Just a little lax on that touch, Shushnia, and he's had some moments in this game. A little susceptible at the back, hasn't looked entirely comfortable on the ball, and it's afforded Adelaide with a really good opportunity here.
Zach Clough again, 8 minutes into the second half. The delivery, Ibasuki near post. And he's furious with himself. It's a bit of a mismatch up against Jared Carluccio.
Well, he just picks his timing so well, doesn't he? The flight of the ball, knows when to jump, his hang time. I think Ollie Sale just had the near post covered, but nonetheless, that rueful shake of the head. Ibasuki knows he should have done better with that.
Latchman inviting the press from Morg. He's still full of running. Rawlins wondering where the option is. In the end, up the line towards Taggart. Cleared by Isaias. Back towards Benny. Oh, that defensive header's not the best from Bovalina. Riley Warland plays in. Daniel Benny chips it back. Very well defended by Panakikianis. Now, good ball for Taggart. Oh, and that's a second great chance for Adam Taggart in this second half already.
Well, thumbs up from Adam Taggart, but the hands on the head tell you all you need to know. Unmarked in the box, timed his run well. Just needed to redirect that well, anywhere on frame really. And
while if you're Perth Glory, you're frustrated at those 2 chances. If you're Adelaide, you're worried, because you don't want to give him too many opportunities like that.
Ordinarily, Adam Taggart tucks those away. As we've spoken about across the evening, makes them look very, very simple. You'd have to argue that the 2 easiest chances he's had all evening, he hasn't managed to make a meal of.
Kikianis long, moving as far as Kamau. Now Isaias. Shushnia. Just getting caught up in the breeze by the looks of things there. Isaias now releasing Cavallo. It's a good header from Rawlins, but Cavallo has it now. Chip. The ball back in. Mork finds Clough. Isaias. Alagic. Well, they've worked that well. Onto the left-hand side now, Kitto. Alagic receives it from Mork. Isaias. Managed to create a little overload down the left-hand side, but Cavallo couldn't find Mork. Taggart, great use of the body again. And Johnny Katrumbas was charging forward, but Ryan Kitto had the drop on him.
He was well tracked by Kitto, had to be as well. That's where Perth are going to look to play, right up the middle. Good strength shown by both Taggart and Benny.
Leonov, Isaias putting Kikianis under pressure, and they've caught him out here. Colley with Warland. Gio Colley again. His ball to the back post towards Taggart. Well, it was on this ground last season where Gio Colley scored the Isuzu Ute A-League Goal of the Year. An absolutely stunning strike. Unfortunately for him, Goodwin and Ibasuki also scored that day. They were 2-0 up then, Adelaide, and finished 2-1 on that occasion. There was another 2-0 win here last season. Lockie Barr and Ben Halloran, the goal scorers, before that remarkable 4-4. Which we're still on track, given the timings of the goals that night, to reproduce here, as Rawlins does well against Cavallo, but concedes the throw. Ibasuki just beaten by the bounce. Stretched out with the arm. Sale back in the side for his 4th straight match after he played the first 2 games of the season before losing his place to Cameron Cook. He's been back, and his return has coincided with this upturn in form. They're looking for 4 without defeat here. To do that, they need one more unanswered goal. As here goes Kitto. Forward towards Ibasuki. Good defensive work from Shushnia. And now Katrumbas. Oh, he's done that pretty well. Brilliant play from Katrumbas, and then undoing all that good work.
Katrumbas, you mentioned in the first half, has been one of those players for Perth who, no matter where he's played, has worked tirelessly. He's been one of Perth's best across the season. Tonight as well, solid performance. Couldn't quite get that last delivery right. Playing in a different role this evening, a little more centrally. He's done a job.
Alagic. touchline changes are coming for both sides, as right on cue, 60th minute, as is so often the case, and the temperature is about to rise another degree or two here, because Nestor Irankunda, the man that scored that 99th minute equaliser in the 4-4, is about to come on. And now those changes come. Josh Cavallo makes way. There's applause for him, but there's a roar for Nestor Irankunda on the day of his 18th birthday. He has half an hour plus stoppage time to try and secure the points for Adelaide. Ben Halloran with a smile and a word for Ethan Alagich as he makes way, and a change for Perth as well. Jared Carluccio making way for Perth's number 9, the author of the recent late shows, Davy Williams, who's still as fast as ever and has a great eye for goal. 5 goals last season, already 3 and 2 assists this campaign.
We talk about attacking changes between Halloran, Irankunda, Davy Williams. We've just had a number of goals walk onto the field from either side. The impact that all of those players can provide. I think we've got a pretty exciting 30 minutes of football ahead of us.
And Nestor Irankunda, with his 50th appearance on the day of his 18th birthday, by some distance the youngest player ever to reach this milestone, ahead of Liberato Cacace, who did it at 19.5 for Wellington. The next youngest player to have made 50 appearances. It speaks to the talent of the player, and as well how well he's been brought through, and the responsibilities he's had from the age of 16. Only John Markowski has gone faster to 50 matches. John, whose son Jonas plays these days at Brisbane Roar. Colley, good ball in near post. Ibasuki's header, Williams, and it's in! Just over a minute on the pitch, and he's done it again. The equaliser from David Williams, who is Perth Glory's not-so-secret weapon off the bench.
Well, there's nothing secret about the quality of this guy. David Williams on the Harvey Norman replay. It has fallen oh so kindly to him, but that strike gets his head over the ball really well. One thing in mind, he's done it again. There's too much power behind the strike. There's too many bodies in the way. And David Williams, the saviour, once more for Perth Glory. Well, we said there would be goals. And look at that hit. Delinov almost gets a foot to it, scuffs off the underside of his boot, and that has silenced Cooper Stadium.
Get on it! Come on! Pick it up!
And you can hear the words from the bench saying to pick it up. What a season he is having, David Williams. What a couple of years he's having since returning to the A-Leagues from football in India, where he was playing, also had spells in Denmark. Was for a long time the player with the most appearances for Melbourne Heart / City back in the old days. But a player who is still writing history in the A-League. There are a few opposition teams that'll be sick of the sight of him by the time he does hang up his boots.
When you've got that ability to come on and impact a game with such assurance in the way that David Williams has in recent matches for Perth, well, not only for opposition to look against, we'll come back to that point, Robbie.
As here goes Halloran, gets there, looks up, Tries to pick out a teammate in the middle. It was Stefan Mork. Irankunda now picks up possession. Irankunda comes inside, left foot. And trying to reply with his own super sub impersonation.
To right of reply, he's got the passage to do so. And he's hit that really sweetly. Got a nice piece of that. You know how capable Nestor Irankunda is of those kind of strikes.
Well, Adelaide need them now. Those supporters behind the goal. They're giving Ollie Sale a little bit of grief for that clearance straight to the Adelaide bench. Flags up for offside against Ibasuki. Let's head straight back down to Max and Bruce on the sidelines.
We just saw, obviously, in the 60th minute, Adelaide will be hoping now that their super subs, Nestori Irankunda and Ben Halloran, come on. Both dropped from the starting 11 this week. Not enough effort, I think, is the message from the coach. Bruce, you have been in a position before where you've been dropped to the bench. You come on in this little half-hour window. Do you play with a different motivation?
Certainly, you've got to play with intent. You want to start the following week. You know, you want to prove that you should be in the starting 11. I think any player with the right mentality is coming on and trying to be the match winner, trying to make a difference, and most importantly, trying to help the team win and get all 3 points, especially a team like Adelaide United who is struggling to find wins.
Thank you for your insights, Max and Bruce on the sidelines. 2-2. This one evenly poised as Williams was arriving again. It's cleared by Kitto. Well, anyone looking for motivation to score as well, there's the 3 points on offer at the moment that the next goal could possibly deliver. There are also personal milestones. There are a couple out there that would like to celebrate their birthday with a goal. David Williams is on 49 A-League career goals now as well. Nothing he'd like more than to bring up the half-century in a trademark come from behind victory for Perth. They've done it this year as well. They were 2-0 down against MacArthur, I think it was, when they came back to win 3-2.
Well, it's come to be a bit about Perth's brand this year. Comeback kings, able to pull themselves from really difficult positions. And Adelaide, well, the question for them now is, what's this response mid-game during the match going to be like? We saw the response at the start of the match, 2 goals up, but what happens now?
Well, we're about to find out. Adelaide back on the front foot. Isaias looking for Kitto. It's well defended by Rawlins, and now Colley under pressure from Mork. Latchman with Katrumbas. Shushnyar back with Ollie Sale. And his ball at feet work hasn't been the best this season. That's the last 2 he sent into touch. As Halloran finds Irankunda, he drives it, looking for Ibasuki at the back post, but it's claimed by Sale, who decides to throw it out. Davey Williams is not happy either. He wanted it a little bit longer, I think. Clough with Mork, little 1-2, Stefan Mork caught by Colley and now hit by Bovalina with the follow-up. Walker stayed down. Now Johnny Katrumbas has gone down as well, holding his hip. The Adelaide boy back home, John Katrumbas.
Not too much in that you can see from the replay. Just looking for any amount of contact. There was a first challenge on Mork, but the second one through from Katrumbas, he just seemed to prop after that, coming together and holding at his hip. And I that's not a good sign there. The physio gesturing for a substitution, and we were talking just not long ago about how valuable Katrumbas has been at the centre of the park for Perth today. That's a big out.
16 appearances last season for Perth. His first there, but clearly struggling. There's where it's happened, and I'm not sure if it's hip or muscular inside there. Something seems to have given. They're just asking him again.
Seems to be gesturing just towards his hip, and he knew straight away, you could tell.
Well, he started out life in Adelaide as a defensive midfielder. He was back there, we know him more in recent years, as a central defender or a right back. So it's going to be Luke Bodnar and Trent Osler coming in to replace Warland and Katrumbas with 20 minutes left to play. And this one on the veritable knife edge. Could go either way.
Two players for Perth who together have played very little football across the course of this season. Not many minutes, so safe to say they may be fresh in the way of load, but haven't had much football in their legs across the season.
Here come Perth again. Rawlins, the early cross near post, and Williams was there again. It's a good strong claim by James Delianov. Halloran rides the challenge of Kamau. Now Iran Kunda inside and out against Osler. He's got to the byline. I think it's just beaten him out of play. Well, you come on cold off the bench and you're confronted by the flying Nestor Iran Kunda down your wing. It's not the easiest assignment in the A-League.
Certainly not. And Osler's done well there. Just enough to slow Iran Kunda down, just to his touch slightly away from his body.
It's another match with 4 goals in the A-League and time for plenty more again. Halloran just clamping down, deciding to try and catch out Ollie Sale near post and hit it as cleanly as he would have liked. This season averaging well over 3 goals per game. That's a lapse in concentration from Rawlins. Kitto with a say yes. Bobolina now. Iran Kunda. The cross in. Casual as you like, good shape on it. Headed away by Latchman. Isaias takes over. Clough and Kitto with Isaias again. Mork was making a late run into the box. And again, Perth defending in numbers, saying, give it your best shot. For the moment, it's lots of puff and puff around the periphery. Isaias looks for some cutting edge. Now Iran Kunda. Iran Kunda! Well, they didn't afford him that much space, but it was still too much.
It's pretty incredible the way in which Iran Kunda can create just half a yard of space for himself and get a shot away and produce that kind of power. You can see the ball just skimming over the net. Just hear the slightest of touches, but it's those moments that he's become so well loved for.
They do love him, and well they might, as the ball is again straight into touch. And that's becoming a thing as well. The Adelaide crowd giving Ollie Sale some stick at the moment. They had a go at Danny Vukovic last week, and he was up that end. Danny Vukovic was all smiles, mind you. push. They have to be careful on the counter-attack because this is a very similar situation to the one we saw last week with Melbourne City at Perth as well. Irankunda! And Isuzu sliding in at the back post. Well, he has made a big difference, Nestor Irankunda, since coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. And if Clough can get that pass away to Irankunda half a breath earlier, then he's driving into space. In this position, he's got to look to create. There was a little fingertip there from Ollie Sale. That's what Irankunda was appealing for. But you feel his instant impact, don't you? Just the energy, his ability to create something out of nothing, really.
And the noise around Coopers all of a sudden, as here he goes again, looking to drive inside Shushnya. And he's frustrated, I think, with himself more than anything.
Yeah, clever defending here from Shushnya. He's had his heel clipped, yes, but he's got his body in front of Irankunda. After what's been a fairly difficult night for the Perth Glory defender on that occasion, he does well.
Well, you have to dig in when you've got Irankunda in full flight. Coming at you, Perth's defence will be sorely tested in these final 15 minutes, but Adelaide will know as well. Any lapse in concentration at the other end and they could be paying the ultimate penalty as well. Albeit side who have dropped after that stunning start to the season where they beat both grand finalists, the Mariners 3-0, Melbourne City 6-0 in their opening two matches here at Coopers. Benny on the charge. This is where Perth are so dangerous. Daniel Benny still going. It's a great run off the post. Williams with the follow-up. And he's kicked at the ball. Fantastic defending, I think, from Stephen Moore, who had to get back. Well, how long will it be before Daniel Benny gets his first A-League goal? Brilliant run, and Perth with that reminder of how dangerous they are. Now comes Irankunda. No look pass, but he needed to have perhaps a better look at that. Benny looking for the free kick, and he gets it.
Feels like it's only a matter of time for Daniel Benny. And for a lot of tonight's game, he's had to play back to goal, hold up play, big target number 9 type striker, but there we get a look at him in full flight. It's almost crept in to the near post. Delinov down well. So close for Perth.
And now Kamau, Taggart with Williams, asking Rawlins to get forward. The switch, demanding more of Benny. That shot may just have taken a deflection off Bovalina as well, which is why it caught out Delianov. Here's Bodnar with Williams. Bodnar again closed down. That's good defending from Kitto. Now Isuzu coming, but Rawlins gives it some air. Shushnya straight into the head of Irankunda. That's a very strange defensive header from Alexander Shushnya. Clough's cross deflected. Isuzu was looking for the corner, I think. Osler got a goal kick. Now the chanting will start again for poor old Ollie Sale at the back, but not before we have another substitution. Zach Clough makes way, and Luka Jovanovic is going to come on. He scored the opener for Adelaide in that 4-4 draw. Taggart still out there, Kitto and Irankunda, so we've got a few of the stars that were there that night that are now on the pitch, waiting to make the magic happen all over again. As it stands in the ladder, the point for each doesn't really do anyone any huge favours. Perth continue their climb away from Western United. Adelaide miss out on the chance, a win, and they could go level. They would go level on points with Melbourne City in 6th place, only provisionally, mind you. Good strength from Bodnar. If Perth can get the winner, they join Adelaide on 18 points. And it's one for Benny again. Benny's cross. It's beyond Kamau, only just. Good header, Kitto. Finds Bovalina. Stephen Moore, just his 2nd game back. The first time he's played this long in several weeks, Stephen Moore. Jovanovic, fresh legs. No, it's kept in, is it, by Latchman? Well, that would have been ill-advised if that had gone straight back onto the penalty spot.
A little unorthodox defending there. Otherwise, what was a good move from Adelaide. Jovanovic with some good energy to burn down this flank. Will be an Adelaide corner, though.
As Perth are preparing for 2 more substitutions, it's Iran Kunda. Back post, the header from Bovalina. It's going to be another corner. Ollie Sale and his side with more defending to be done. They've conceded 2 or more goals in 9 out of their last 10 matches, Perth. They are entertaining, to say the least. Iran Kunda puts it up, and it's travelled out of play before coming back in and being claimed by Ollie Sale. Ivanovic has stayed forward for the press. It's going to be Shushnia. Chips it towards Williams. A little touchdown for Colley. Strong in the challenge. Look at the space opening up. Taggart's pass is a little under hit, but Osler manages to get there. Benny. Is this the moment for Benny? Osler now cuts it back. Rawlins, and it's in! Josh Rawlins, in his first match back in Perth, after returning from the Netherlands, has completed the comeback from 2 goals down. Perth's incredible month continues. They lead 3-2.
Are you not entertained on the Harvey Norman replay? Perth, time and time again, they never give up. You must credit Daniel Benny. He's been driving forward. And this one again, fallen really kindly. It drops perfectly. There's no red shirts to defend. And what a moment for Perth. Almost a smile out of Alan Stajic. Delianov, nothing to be done about that one. Too much power behind the shot. But what a finish, what a strike that is.
Well, poor old James Delianov beaten for a 3rd time. And did he enjoy that? It hasn't been the easiest evening. Back in the limelight for Josh Rawlins. His side conceding goals early. He's had plenty of work to do, but that was a fantastic strike, and what a way to score your first ever A-League goal as well.
Well, he's looked good tonight. Josh Rawlins, a 19-year-old, and he's looking to establish himself firmly in this Perth Glory side. That will have helped.
Well, he's an absolute crowd favourite as well, an academy junior who's come through the ranks. Iran Kunda, the little back heel, Bovalina. Jovanovic is there, Bovalina again. Was there a hand there from Colley? Penalty! Well, it's Bodnar, who's handled in the box. Perth are saying there was a foul on Luke Bodnar. Referee Ben Abraham points to the ear. Let's have a look.
There's the moment in question. And I think the answer, as you see the replay, is fairly evident. Arm away from the body. He hits his hand and he is just inside the 18-yard box. A little bit of afters. His players just trying to have a chat with Ben Abraham as he's trying to get some instruction.
Now Taggart is saying, I think Taggart is saying not that there wasn't a handball, but that there's a free kick just before. Now Bodner is the player who's been adjudged to have handled. He's also just run to the bench, Bodnar, and run back with instructions for Ollie Sale about the penalty taker. Adam Taggart still claiming that there was a foul first that should be whistled. What's the referee going to make of this one? Well, this is for a little bit of afters, I think, with Ben Halloran involved. Now, the other question is, who's going to take it for Adelaide? Ibasuki is now the player closest to the penalty spot, but Stephen Moore is on the ball. Now, is the referee's assistant on that far side?
I think I can help you with
yes.
I can help you with who's going to take it, because Stephen Moore and Hiroshi Ibasuki had a strong back and forth, I would suggest. I think Hiro thought maybe he was the man to take it, given he's the goal scorer, and Steph has pulled rank despite being back for 2 weeks, as Bruce just chuckles along beside me. So Stephen Moore will be the penalty taker, and I think for the sake of his relationship with Hiroshi Ibasuki, he should hope he scores it.
Well, he scored his last penalty back in January 2022 against Brisbane Roar. Here he steps up again. Oh, and a save by Ollie Sale! Brilliant stop by the New Zealand keeper. And Stephen Moore, who's had a good game in his first start back in nearly 2 seasons, but he's failed to score here.
Well, the instruction from the sideline was spot on. Ollie Sale down to his left, strong hands. Stephen Moore, he'll be disappointed with that. But there's still a bit going on here as Adelaide prepare for another corner. It has been a busy night from Mork.
Now, is he going to get it again? I thought the VAR were just checking if Ollie Sale had moved first or if someone had come on. The corner in Ibasuki, and it almost found Mork again. Halloran with Mork. Jovanovic. Isaias. Blocked by Williams. And the break is on again. He helps it on its way to Taggart. Oh, this could be trouble for Irankunda. Yellow card for Nestor Irankunda. Adam Taggart saying he was clean through on goal. Well, yellow card for the moment. And talk about drama in these final minutes.
Well, how about this for a foot race? Davey Williams, Nestor Irankunda. That little touch around the corner from Williams was excellent to find Taggart. Taggart remonstrating with the referee, trying to argue that it was the last offender. But late into this one, as they so often are for Perth and between these two teams, drama.
Now the referee is not checking for to have a look at the screen and have a look at the replays. Come over with a yellow card for someone on the Perth bench.
The entire Perth bench ran down to the linesman.
Pick a yellow card out of that.
And that could be for any one of them. Everyone and half of the assistant coaches were having a chat with the linesman after that.
That was Jared Carluccio who's been picked out. Now, Gio Colli. The goal he scored was about this kind of range. It's curled up over the wall. Oh, and Delianov didn't look comfortable, did he? Managed just to tip it over, but only just, and it wasn't travelling all that quickly.
Gio Collier, who just continues to be ever present in the middle of the park for Perth Glory. Didn't quite have the dip on the free kick he would have liked as he watches that one sail over, but it wasn't far off.
Now those two substitutes have been watching on the sidelines for the penalty and then the yellow card to Iran Kunda. Finally, they get to come on. So Jacob Muir is coming on for the hero at the moment, the match winner, Josh Rawlins, and one of last week's heroes, Joel Anasmo, who scored on his debut and made safe the points last week. He comes on to replace the excellent Daniel Benny. As the 90 minutes tick over, Collie with pace. And that's a great grab from Delianov.
Brilliant, great hands, really clean. You almost expect a goalkeeper to take no chance there and get a solid punch away, but that is a solid set of hands there from Delianov.
Ibasuki and Taggart still leading the way. Williams is there as well, and Clough, and Ollie Sale with that penalty save, thrusting himself into the top 5 of the Paramount Plus player index. It has been some match, and I suspect there's going to be more changes to that as well as the scoreboard. 6 minutes of stoppage time. These two sides have a history against each other, but also in general this season. Warland can't keep it in, under pressure from Kamau, but Adelaide will look to stay forward. Jacob Muir, his first contribution, and throw in on this near side as he makes his way all the way up an extra 10 yards or so. Taggart wrestling with Kitto, free kick goes Adelaide's way. Well, for the moment, Taggart has played his role. It was Taggart that got the all-important first for Perth. That got them back in the contest. Davy Williams off the bench, got them level. And Josh Rawlins got their noses in front. Now the question is, can they hang on? Jovanovic, Halloran, ball back post, Kikianis can't get there. The young 18-year-old central defender.
Tempting ball over the top. So close as well for Adelaide. Just try and get a toe on the end of it. These are nervy minutes for both sides as stoppage time just gradually ticks away, and no doubt Ollie Sale will take as much time as he can here on the goal kick.
Certainly is. All the Adelaide players asking, when is this game going to get restarted again? Taggart, good use of the body, just bundling Kikianis out of the way and releasing Anasmo, who is quick. And Ryan Kitto does very well. Isaias invites Bovalina forward. The Reds have numbers forward. The early cross. Oh, and Ibasuki was making that run, but it was just overhit. They needed a runner in behind. They need to get Iran Kunda back on the ball again. On the day of his 18th birthday, he hasn't seen much of it in the last few minutes.
Disappointing delivery from Bovalina, who's otherwise been excellent all evening. He's worked tirelessly up and down that flank.
Offside. Just over 2 minutes left. In the 6 added, but it will be at referee Ben Abraham's discretion, should there be any more. Warland just goes long, only finds the head of Osler. Here's Mork. Out of play, the throw for Bovalina. Mork is still full of running. He had the chance to equalise. from the penalty spot and couldn't take it. Adelaide's first miss of the season after 4 penalties from Zach Clough. Latchman with a good ball for Anasmo, for Kamal rather. Anasmo's in the middle, it's an early ball for Taggart. Taggart to finish it! And the flag's up for offside. Coach Stajic was celebrating. So were the supporters in that far corner. And it's going to have to be checked, but he did look off.
Yeah, what is otherwise Perth Glory's bread and butter. Well, it's got to be close. And Taggart just leaning perhaps into an offside position. Good early ball, shape on it, and the finish too tidy. But that is offside.
Kitto with Irankunda. What can Nestor Irankunda produce? Through the legs with Jovanovic. It's a nice pass. Everyone back for Perth Glory, starting with their captain and lead striker Adam Taggart. Williams for Anasmo. He's won the throw. And they will be under no rush to take this. Up the line with Anasmo again. So this is it for Adelaide. They've done it before. This is the moment. This used to be what the legend of Adelaide was built on. These last-minute heroics. Bodnar, it's come off him. Inviting the challenge, free kick. And this is it. Now they have scored 1 free kick this season from about this kind of distance out. It was Irankunda against Melbourne City. The opening goal. Now Colley has stayed down.
Yeah, can't really argue the case there. You'd have to say Bodnar should have done better on that first header. The clearance for Perth didn't happen on the first time of asking. Colley, yes, eyes for the ball, but he's absolutely collected Kitto. And this is a very, very dangerous position for a free kick, and it will be none other than Nestor Irankunda standing over the top of this one. And what a birthday present this would be.
Well, haven't you always wanted to give yourself a birthday present like this? Nestor Irankunda in the 98th minute. It was the 99th when he equalised last season. Irankunda. It's off the top of the wall and away. And there's still time for the corner, according to referee Ben Abraham. One last chance for Adelaide. Ibasuki trying to find space in the area with Warland. In it comes from Isaias. Bobolina deflected, cleared off the line. From Kikianis, it's given. It's been given. Pana Kikianis in the 98th minute. The youngster in just his second ever match has equalised in another thrilling twist in the tail of this rivalry between Adelaide and Perth Glory.
Well, you have to see it to believe it, and even then, you might not believe it. On the Harvey Norman replay, the ball has gone over the line in the 98th minute at Cooper Stadium. Kikianis, the hero for Adelaide United, and what a finish we have had to this game. What a second half of football.
And what a start to the weekend's matches. Well, we had goal line controversy last week when MacArthur got a last-ditch winner against Western Sydney. Here, Adelaide have claimed a last-minute equaliser in another 6-goal thriller. Unbelievable scenes. And somehow you just knew it was coming. What a finish to a remarkable match of football. Well, time to suck in some deep breaths. There's no second away win of the season for Perth Glory. But they have again shown that their season is far from over. While Adelaide, who led 2-0 midway through the first half and had a chance to make it 3-3 from the penalty spot before they finally did, may not have the win they so desperately desired this evening back at home. But they showed great character as well, great fight. And what is it about these two sides and the drama that they bring with them every time they go head-to-head? A thrilling roller coaster ride of football. Friday night at Cooper's is back as it's finished here. Adelaide United 3, Perth Glory 3. And let's head straight down to Max Burford.
What a finish. This man at the centre of it all, Panakikianis. Second game, first goal, 10 seconds left. I mean, it wasn't for a win, but it's almost what dreams are made of, mate.
It's an unbelievable feeling. You know, we started the game off so well, 2 goals up. Then set pieces let us down, but to get the goal at the end, it's what you dream of as a kid, so it was unbelievable.
Talk me through it. I mean, it's not going to go back into the history books as one of the greatest finishes of all time, but you'll never forget it. Talk me through it.
Well, Bob, unbelievable header from him, squared across the box, so just had to be out of my position at the right time. Lucky I was there.
It was definitely in, of course.
I think so.
All right, what about the game on the whole? 2-3 until you've come and saved the Reds' blushes there, which would have been probably a fair catastrophe for Adelaide. What do you make of it?
First half I thought we were really good. You know, we played through the lines, broke them down a lot. Once they scored their first goal from the set piece, then they started to press a little bit more second half. Sort of fell apart a little bit, but, you know, to get the point at the end, it's something we needed, I guess.
Congratulations on your first goal, mate.
Thank you very much.
Panakikianis. We also have... Oh, heartbreak at the end.
Yeah, very disappointing just to concede at the end. I think, you know, we've played so well to get back from 2-0 down, and it's just so disappointing to lose that, to draw that, and concede in the last kick of the ball for corner as well. But, you know, we've got to go again next week and keep our heads high.
Is that sort of... what do you take away from it, Daniel? You leave here, you're up 3-2, you fought back from 2-0 down. It's not the result you wanted, but overwhelmingly positive?
I think we can take positives from it, of course. I think, you know, we showed really good character to get back from 2-0 down. But, you know, the set piece is what we've been working on this whole season, not to concede for them, but to concede like that, it's just disappointing.
And for you, on a personal level, some exciting runs up and down the wing. You had Bruce excited there, just needed the finish.
Yeah, I know, just hit the post twice, but, you know, next week we can get the goal, so, yeah, hopefully we can get it next week. But, yeah, it was good.
Something for Perth to build on, perhaps.
Yeah, 100%. Just go again next week and, you know, stay positive.
Daniel Benny, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
There we hear another great night of football at Cooper Stadium. There's still a bit of magic dust left around Coopers and Hindmarsh. We're going to break this game down after this 6-goal thriller, the other side of the break.